A couple of weeks ago, Realme sent me a huge bag full of items that I could get my hands on and do a full review. And of course, in that bag was the Realme 7 5G. Now, this is the first Realme phone that I've really tried and gotten my hands on, so I was a little bit excited. They also sent along with the phone a true wireless earbud, a smartwatch, a smart scale, and even a smart toothbrush. Quick shout out to Realme for sending me all these products. It was amazing. Thank you guys. So I was really gonna dive into the Realme ecosystem and really use the phone and the smart items or the IoT items together and see how that really went for me. And the result was a little interesting. If you are a first-time viewer, remember to hit the like button, smash that subscribe button so that you would see more content like this. I've got a lot more content coming up, so make sure you do that. So let's get right into it. I'm your host Thiru, and this is Random Review Squad. So let's start off by talking about the Realme 7 5G. It's an interesting phone. It's one of those phones that you look at and you say, oh, they are actually giving a lot for half the price of a premium phone. So what are they skimping on? So first, let's just take a look at the design of the phone. The Realme 7 5G's actually got a silver back, a shiny silver back with the huge Realme logo on it. Personally, I would go for the mist blue colorway, but this flash silver colorway was what I got, so I had to make do with it. Still, it's smooth. Even though it looks shiny, you would think that it's rough on the back, but it's actually smooth. It is nice to hold, and it fits right in my hand perfectly because it's got a 6.5 inch screen, or in fact the phone is 6.5 inches. So when you look at the front of the phone, you've got a 6.5 inch display surrounded by a thin bezel, a punch hole, camera, and of course you have a small chin at the bottom. Of course, if you go around the sides of the phone itself, the aluminum bezel houses the USB-C connector, a 3.5mm jack, which I'm very happy about because I usually use wired earpieces, so I don't have to use an adapter whatsoever. And then if you go on, you'll see the volume control, the SIM tray, and on the other side there's the power button, which is slightly recessed, indicating that it is fingerprint enabled. So yeah, now let's talk about the specs quickly. While I've been using this phone, I've been impressed by its incredibly snappy performance with the MediaTek Dimensity 8000U processor, coupled with the 120Hz display, which is only FHD, but you kind of make do with it because it's an FHD display. I think a lot of companies are realizing that you can't fit too much, resolution into a small display and expect people to see the difference. An FHD display is more than enough, but a 120Hz display is amazing, right? Everything is snappy, everything is fast. It feels like it's not on a, setback due to the CPU. It's actually pretty seamless. It is an IPS LCD screen and it has Corning Gorilla Glass protection. So if you drop it once or twice, scratch it with your keys, for example. I don't know why you're scratching your phone with your keys. Please don't put your keys with your phone ever. It's gonna be fine, all right? Of course, you don't have to worry because there is a screen protector already applied on the phone, and it does come with a clear case, so you can immediately start using your phone. Of course, if you wanted a phone that has higher resolution, better color in terms of the display, then you would have to pay more. After using the phone for about an hour, the CPU did run hot and the phone was pretty hot for me. But I don't use the phone continuously. I don't really play games on the phone. So if you're one of those people who plays games on the phone for hours, then I would suggest you kind of get a cover or something that would cool the phone down well enough. Usually on the Pixel 4 XL that I'm using, apps get closed down really quickly because we don't have enough RAM, and they call it RAM management by closing the apps that you eventually go back to. But that doesn't happen on this phone. It's an 8 gig RAM containing phone. That's the sentence, yeah. So there's no issue there. You can actually jump back into apps that you used a while back and then come back into the new apps that you've been using pretty seamlessly and pretty quickly. So good job on that. So you can really tell that they're giving a lot in this phone for the price of only $429. It's interesting because where they cut off the price is actually at the camera. The camera is visibly not as good. You can see the slight difference between CPU performance between a flagship and a budget phone. You can see the slight difference between the RAM management between a flagship and a budget phone. But the camera is really visible, like it's really different. it's not as good as the flagship. Like, I'm gonna put it out there. It's not as good as the flagship. You are getting what you paid for. You have a 48 megapixel sensor as the wide angle sensor. You've got an 8 megapixel ultra wide, 2 megapixel macro, and a 2 megapixel depth sensor. And I've taken some photos, so let's take a look at them. So as you can see, the camera is not as detailed as you would think it would be. It's still struggling a bit to capture the details of many of the objects in the photo. Now, the front-facing camera is another thing. It's a 16 megapixel front-facing camera. It looks pretty good when you first look at it, you know, if you have good lighting and all that. But after you take the photo, you realize it's actually losing some detail in the beard hair and, you know, in the facial features and all that. So it's not as good, but it gets the job done. You know, if you're someone who's there to just, you know, capture the memory quickly or capture the moment quickly, you don't really need the quality, and using the camera is not your main purpose, then this phone is really something for you to consider, because at the price of $429, it is an amazing phone. Speaking of the front-facing camera, my preferred way of unlocking the phone is face unlock. Now, the fingerprint sensor on the side with the power button and the face unlock kind of work as quickly, so it's kind of down to your preference. When you pick it up, you don't want to align your finger to the sensor and then unlock it. It takes a while more, so the face unlock immediately works on you, but it is less secure compared to the thumbprint, so you decide which one you want to use. Now let's talk about the battery life. The battery life on this phone is amazing. It's got a 5000 mAh battery. It's huge. It's bigger than most flagship phones out there now. Your phone in fact lasts about 1.5 days. With that 120 Hz screen, it's gonna require a lot of energy, but it still lasts pretty long. If you're one of those people who want a phone for you know, to last the whole day, then this would be one to consider. And of course, Realme is known for their Super VOOC charging. So Super VOOC, really good. 30 minutes, you get 50%. 58% in 30 minutes when I tried it out. So that was really decent. And you know, if you're going out somewhere, you forgot to charge your phone, you can quickly plug it in. You know, maybe take 10 minutes and then get out of the house. You know, it will probably last you for the next 3-4 hours. So that's pretty insane. I like that they're going in that direction. You know, it's become an industry norm now to have really fast charging, but you don't know how it is or how good it is for the battery life and the battery itself in the phone. Okay, so I've been using this phone for the past like 2-3 weeks, and I've been using it in conjunction with the other items that they sent to me: the Realme Buds Pro, the Realme smartwatch, the smart scale, and the Realme toothbrush. Now, my favorite item of the list was actually the Realme toothbrush. I'm usually someone who would think, you know, you don't need a electronic toothbrush. You know, you can just brush your teeth with a normal toothbrush, you'll be fine. But I was wrong. I was proven wrong by this toothbrush. The electronic toothbrush is really good for your teeth health. It is much less hard on your teeth. It is much less damaging to your gums. You feel cleaner for a longer period of time because of the vibration and how well it cleans your teeth, right? And it's absolutely become a necessity now in my life. Every morning, wake up, electric toothbrush. And I don't even have to charge it as much, right? It lasts about 90 days on one charge. It's got an LED indicator on the body of the toothbrush to indicate whether it's got enough battery or not. And it's got 4 different modes for you to set: soft and a bunch of others. I'm gonna put the words up. Yeah. You can tell that I'm only using soft, so that's all I really care about. I know there's polish and all that, different types of vibrations, but I only use soft. Yeah, my gums don't bleed anymore, and I don't, you know, force brush my teeth like I usually do by using the wrong bristles as well, right? So I'm using a softer bristle on the Realme toothbrush. It would have been nicer if the Realme app, the Realme Link app, came with an accompanying, teeth map to tell you where you should brush, how long you should brush it, following that map and brushing your teeth so that you assure or you achieve maximum clean. Is that a word? Yeah, maximum clean. Right now it's not even showing up on the Realme Link app. It's a standalone smart toothbrush. Right, the next item that I really like is the smart scale. So the smart scale really changed my view on how I can manage my weight, my diet, and my health in general. So the smart scale actually tells you your weight, of course, and then it also tells you your heart rate. And based on these two things and other sensors and the scale itself, it's able to give you BMI, it's able to give you fat percentage, your body age, and like other details in the Realme Link app. And you can use the information that you get from the smart scale to actually adjust your own meal plans and work your way through certain diets and learn what you should focus on in terms of losing weight or managing your weight and your health. So that's insane. I really love the smart scale. You guys should get one as well. Like, the data that it gives is really important. The next one is the Realme Watch S Pro. Now, I've used a few smartwatches through this channel. I've used the TicWatch Pro, I've used the Mi Bands, I've used TicWatch E1 and E2. I've of course used the Realme watch as well. I've had some time to use the Garmin with my friends. This watch was interesting to me because it was one of the watches that could actually determine my heart rate properly. The other watches would actually screw up on the heart rate. Like, they would tell me my resting heart rate is 120 or something, and I'm like, what? So this one actually gave me accurate results, or in fact, I don't know if it's accurate. I don't know if my resting heart rate is actually 120, but it seems more believable when your heart rate is actually 70 or 60 or around that range. I haven't really done much sports, but mainly running. It's got a GPS tracker in it. It actually saves all the running data that you have. You don't really need to bring your phone out. Then when you come back home, it syncs to the phone and you can see all the data on the Realme Link app. And that's really good. It's got a simple OS. It doesn't run Google Wear OS. There's no bloatware. It's mainly focused at sports, mainly focused at running and health and fitness. So if you're someone who wants a smartwatch that can do a little bit more, this watch is it. It is also waterproof for about 50 meters, right? So if you do go swimming, look out for that. The design of this watch though is really not fully sports. A lot of companies do like a full sports watch, colorful and with rubber everywhere and all that stuff to make it look really durable. No, this one did it really well. It was classy. It was also sporty at the same time. A simple watch face or simple watch body, metal body, durable, and rubber straps that were really soft to wear, really comfortable to wear. I could even wear them to sleep. So usually if I was going to wear a watch to sleep, I wouldn't because it's uncomfortable. But I didn't have that issue with this one, right? And speaking about sleeping with the watch, sleep tracking on the watch is really good, really accurate. It's the first time I've actually seen my sleep data on the smartphone. And in fact, it's the first time I've even seen my sleep data. And it allowed me to learn about my sleeping patterns and how I am actually sleeping or what time I'm actually sleeping, when I'm falling asleep, and whether I should be adjusting my times when I sleep or when I wake up. So yeah, and you can kind of relate to the sleep tracking as well, right? If you wake up feeling really bad that day and you look at your sleep data, kind of study it and relate it to how you feel, you kind of know what you should be doing before you go to sleep, or like how long you should be sleeping. Right, so that was really interesting. That was really helpful for me. Of course, this isn't possible without the Realme Link app. The Realme Link app really does a really good job on telling people or showing people what data is required, and it's got beautiful metrics in the app itself. The app itself looks beautiful and it's easy to read, easy to keep track of. Every day is set out for you. Even on the smart scale itself, you can actually add multiple family members so that each person can be assigned to a measurement, or a measurement can be assigned to each person so that you can keep track of your family members' weights as well. Yeah, they've done it well. The ecosystem is built well. Now, the one product that I didn't like as much was the Realme Buds Pro, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, the Realme Buds Air Pro. I'm someone who listens to a lot of wired ear pieces, and I've got somewhat of a higher expectation when it comes to audio products. So this one didn't really seem to cut it. Don't get me wrong, it's still a really good earbuds or earpiece for people who wear to work, for travel and all that stuff. It's decently comfortable, if you're wearing it for like 4 or 5 hours, it's okay. If you're wearing it for more than that, then it's gonna hurt a little bit. It's got noise cancellation, active noise cancellation, so that works pretty well. In terms of music and the audio itself, this one did well in the low ends and the mid ends, but the high ends kind of, was muddy and it wasn't really as good. The audio wasn't as clear, but I didn't expect much from it because it does only have AAC and SBC audio codec support. So if it was LDAC or something up on the higher range in terms of audio codecs, then I would have expected more. But I wouldn't say that this is something that I would wear every day to travel or to work. I did wear it for sports though, because when you're running and you're really tired and when you're doing sports, you just want music to be loud, and that's what it does. You can wear it out for sports. It stays in your ears pretty well. It is IPX4 waterproof, so it can take a lot of sweat and dust and rain, so don't worry about that. If you're someone who's just looking for a pair of sports earpieces, then these buds would be pretty decent for you. It also has Bluetooth 5.0 and it's got proper controls on the earbuds, so touching and double touching, pauses and plays and fast forwards and all that. Something that the Oppo Enco X did not have, which is a little bit weird, but yeah. But of course the issue is if you were adjusting your earbuds, there were chances that they may tend to just pause the audio or call the assistant, for example. So I definitely caught a very good glimpse of the Realme ecosystem, and I'm really interested to try out other ecosystems as well. So if you do have a certain ecosystem running in your home, like maybe an Oppo ecosystem or a Xiaomi ecosystem, do leave your comments down in the comment section below. I really want to know what it's like with that ecosystem. I've realized how powerful an ecosystem is and how it actually entraps people within that particular ecosystem. And you kind of understand why people in Apple don't, or people using Apple don't ever change out of Apple, right? And it's a lot more integrated, it's a lot more easier, everything syncs up pretty quickly, really quickly, and that's great, that's good. But I think it comes down to which ecosystem is the best for you and your family, right? So yeah, this was a really good experience. It was a bit eye-opening. It was interesting to see all these IoT objects working together and like actually helping me plan out my life and actually helping me make my life better. So that was interesting. And if you found it interesting as well, please hit the like button, smash that subscribe button, leave your comments down in the comment section below. Until next time, I'm your host Thiru, and this is Random Review Squad.